Welcome to For the Health of It. I'm your host, Corian K. Paget, and this is your number one source for all things sports, health, and fitness related.
Oh, hold on, Coach. What does For the Health of It stand for?
Good question, Austin. The four and For the Health of It stands for our four principles, which are mindset, movement, nutrition, and recovery.
Okay, cool. Let's do it for the health of it then.
Welcome to another edition of For the Health of It. I'm your host, Corian K. Paget, and today I have with me my mentor, a guy that means a whole lot to me. A whole lot to me. Coach Reese. Coach Reese is a member of the 2013 Alcorn Sports Hall of Fame. In 2005, he was named the state of Mississippi Health Teacher of the Year. He served 32 years in the field of education, predominantly in Biloxi. And then also, as I mentioned, he's a member of the Alcorn State Sports Hall of Fame. He played football in Alcorn early to mid 80s. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Coach Reese.
How's it going, Corin? I'm very, very honored to be a part of this podcast. I got to tell the general public this is my first podcast, so kind of bear with me. I'll do my best.
Yes, sir, Coach Reese. We appreciate that. And before we move on into the actual interview, I just got to give a shout out. You know, many people have helped me along my career, but for the most part, I got to give it to you. When I got started, I was subbing, and you actually introduced me to the field of coaching and actually started my coaching career. So I got to say, if anybody played a major part of my coaching career, in my career so far, it's been you. So I definitely want to give you your flowers while I have the chance to give them to you, Coach.
I appreciate that, Corin. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, let's go ahead and get started. You're now retired.
Yes.
But while you were working in your illustrious career, what are some of the challenges you faced?
Some of the challenges I faced as a coach was pretty, horrendous at times. Pretty definitely challenging. And of course, you did say some of my accolades and stuff, being Comprehensive Health Teacher of the Year and Hall of Fame and things of that nature. One thing I do want to say that I assisted to give you to answer that question, I got to quantify a couple of more things. I assisted the boys basketball team in the state championship in 2009. That same year, I was Comprehensive Health Teacher of the Year. I've also coached 4 undefeated ninth grade football teams, 3 undefeated ninth grade track teams, and also 1 undefeated ninth grade basketball team with 16-0. We didn't have state rankings in ninth grade basketball, but if we did, my teams would probably be in the top 10 annually statewide. As a head track coach, I took over in 2005. We went to the state championship and we came in 25th place. This is my first year trying to build things up, along with a really, really good staff, working with athletes, recruiting athletes. I consider myself a really, really good recruiter. And being that I coached all 3 sports, I was able to draw from different sports and getting the elite athletes out there. We went from 25th in 2005 to 4th in the state championship in 2017. That's the best winning finish at Biloxi High Boys Track in 47 years to this day.
Wow.
And of course, I keep up with stuff like that, and I'm going to continue to keep up with that. And of course, my challenges in football were just to prove that I belong. I was a positive force as far as in the coaches' ranks. And for some reason, Corian, when people find out that you came from a historically black college, they always want to question your intelligence, and things of that nature. And I just found myself, with all the overturn of coaches, head coaches, and things of that nature, had to prove myself over and over again, which I had no problem doing. I had a tremendous resume, and I accomplished a lot. But that was just kind of thorn in my side to have to prove myself over and over again, which I think I did as a coach in football. And basketball, it was just, making sure my ninth grade team was competitive as the varsity team. If anybody knows about Biloxi High basketball, I think it's top 5 every year annually. 5 state championships start with Jackie Laird and John Pugh. And then, of course, Coach Seaver Wyndham took over, and I was part of his staff. I've seen all 5 state championships, and I've been lucky enough to be a part of one of them. So tremendous situation with that. And, of course, with track, the challenge was to get the elite players out there to contribute to our track program from football and basketball. Ironically, 2 of the basketball players that I got out to run track both became state champions. Damian Fletcher in the long jump, and I want to say 2006 or so. And later on, Deshaun Morgan, which I know you know Deshaun Morgan. Right. He won the triple jump in later on in his career. Very, very proud of those 2 coming off the basketball team and helping our track program.
Yes, sir. Going back to your recruiting, I'm friends with DeAndre Smith's brother, so I've had plenty of conversations with DeAndre Smith. So
no doubt,
he's told me how you approached him with your recruiting. You basically
right.
Now I can see you can jump out the gym. You're not getting that much time with basketball, but how about you come give track a try when the season's over with? And
right.
Now I did it, and he was like, man, that's probably the best decision I made in my athletic career. So
DeAndre, if I'm not mistaken, I had DeAndre. He did the high jump,
right?
And had a national track meet over there in Louisiana, and he came in first place nationally.
Wow!
In that track meet, I think he jumped 6'2", 6'4", and he had less scratches than the other jumpers, so he won the whole thing. So he was a national champion that year. I was very proud of DeAndre.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I can't lie, Coach. I used that same tactic. Those exact same words you said to DeAndre. I ended up using since I've been at Jim Hill. I had a chance.
That's all right.
Those words. I let a couple of kids know, hey, this is before the basketball coach we have now, but I let them know, hey, you're not getting that much time on the basketball court. How about you at least give track a try? And both of those guys came out and they contributed pretty well to the team and their team.
Well, I do feel I need to say this also on that same aspect. Not so much as not getting enough playing time currently in your current sport or whatever, but my thing was always to give yourself an extra added punch to try to get a scholarship.
There we go.
How can you if you just limit yourself to one sport, then you just count on that one sport. Why not do 2 or 3 sports? That way, if you're trying to get a scholarship, you got 2 or 3 opportunities versus just one.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So let's start off, Coach. How did you get into the coaching career?
Well, first of all, I had to think. It's long and hard, Corey, and I remember knowing that I had a scholarship in high school. I earned a scholarship at Alcorn State University. I had like 5 or 6 offers from various schools, including Mississippi State, Ole Miss, things of that nature. But the Mississippi State and Ole Miss, they was always conditional scholarships. If I had a certain GPA or if I had certain stats or whatever, I didn't want conditional. Right. I had 3 other schools that gave me full scholarships and said, come on, we want you to be a part of the program. And the one that, of course, I took was Alcorn State University. My family is really, really predominant in the SWAC, and my mother went to Southern. My father went to Alcorn, so it was just, a no-brainer there. But it just kind of let me know that I need to go that route. Okay, and going back to your original question, Corey, going back to your original question.
I'm sorry. I thought you said I thought you were still thinking on it. So what got you into the coaching career?
Okay, well, I remember, Corey, and I kind of lost train of thought. I'm sorry about that. I never will forget, my main thing, and I know Jerry Rice has said it many times, just didn't want to be a failure.
Okay.
Be a failure. So I remember one day I was trying to think of my major, and I got in my living room and at the house, and I just cut off all the lights and had everything off. and I just thought about how can I be successful? What major can I choose to be successful? And I thought back to all the people that helped me. And for the most part, the most people that helped me were coaches, in the sport, and helped me guide me to become a young man. So I say, well, maybe I need to be a coach. So I started, I decided to major in health and physical education. Very, very good decision on my part, I thought. And I got my degree, and I got into, of course, I didn't make the NFL because of a knee injury. Couldn't try out when it was time to try out, but I was able to rely on my degree and to start coaching, and I got in and just loved it.
Gotcha. Did you play against Jerry Rice?
I did play against Jerry Rice and a lot of other very, very talented swag performers. Willie Totten as well. People don't mention him that much, but he was a tremendous quarterback in Mississippi Valley State. Right. We played the Soul Bowl in 1985 in front of 90,000 at Jackson Morris Stadium, and yes, we did win that game, by the way, 48, and we were Black national champions that year. We ended up going, I want to say 9-0 all together. Had a tremendous year. Got me a good ring to show for it, and it really, really tremendous. But yeah, those are good old days when black college football was really at the limelight. Mm-hmm. They reported 90,000, but I thought it was a lot more than that. And I've got just a whole lot of good memories concerning that.
Okay. We go bring that up a little bit later. I want to circle.
No problem.
Topic. So
I don't know. By the way, Corin, speaking of that, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me zoom over a little bit. I'm trying to get it in here. Can you see
that picture?
There it is, right there. You see the picture behind me?
Yeah, the one with you in front of the coach, right?
Yeah, that was actually when we beat Valley that same night, and they took a picture of that. And now was on the media guide for the following year.
Okay.
Everybody has that 15 seconds of fame, Corey.
Hey, that's what's up, Coach. You got a lot more than
15. Yeah, yes, sir.
You got a lot
yes,
more
sir.
than 15. So being an Alcorn legend, how do you feel that being inducted into the school's Hall of Fame carried on your father's legacy?
Well, the thing about that, Corey, is ironic. Me and my father went in the same time.
Right.
So, I know that and people that know me personally, my father played a really, really huge role in my development, and I wanted to be just like him. And even though he's passed on, I try to fulfill his legacy best I can. Really, really instrumental in my upbringing. He wasn't one of those kind of guys that was, hugging and lovey-dovey. He was more of those hard-nosed guys, and if he said "good job," that was his hug.
Right.
He wasn't very affectionate, but he was just a hard-nosed guy, and but he did show he cared in different ways.
Okay. All right. So, Coach, I've been knowing you since probably about 2003, 2002. When Biloxi Junior High first opened up.
Exactly.
Me and Chris instantly became friends. Your son.
Oh yeah, my son.
And then when my sophomore year, when I became a manager, I actually got to work under you, and then I was a manager for your track team. Then I actually played and ran for you also. So
right.
I know Coach Reese from, like I said, from 2002, 2003-ish on. So
right.
I want you to tell me a little bit about Coach Reese post-college graduation before 2000. What was going on with Coach Reese? Early coaching.
Post-graduation before 2000, my first job was in Vicksburg, Vicksburg Public Schools. Had a great career there at Vicksburg. Go Gators, by the way. All you Gator fans out there. And then, of course, I always wanted to come home. So I had a mentor at Alcorn State University by the name of Dr. Robert Bowles. Dr. Bowles left Alcorn State University. He went down to Biloxi, and he was the head personnel guy in Biloxi. So when he got that job, he automatically gave me a call. because I was trying to get back home, and we kind of hooked up with that, and he got me signed with Biloxi. My first school was Nichols Junior High School.
Nice, the East Side.
And here's the ironic thing, Corey, and with that, I have a granddaughter now. Her name is Reese, and her first school in pre-K is Nichols.
Okay.
So
nice.
It's just like full circle. And of course, from Nichols, I went to Fernwood, and of course, had great years out there at Fernwood under Ronnie Ferris. And then, of course, from there, Biloxi Junior High, when everybody came together. I was at Biloxi Junior High for, I want to say 8-9 years. And then, of course, to the high school after that when they went 9 through 12 in high school. And I've been to high school, I know, a good number of years. Got
you. Okay. You brought up Nichols, and that took me back to when I guess were you the head 9th grade football coach or the head 8th grade football coach or something?
The thing at Nichols is that when you're a coach, you coach all the sports.
Right.
They hire you as a coach, so you automatically football, you automatically basketball, you automatically track. You the coach. So I all three. I coach football, basketball, and track there.
Okay. I
remember at Fernwood as well, football, basketball, and track. So that's how I kind of started with 3 sports.
Gotcha. So I remember I was working on base, and I told a guy, I was like, yeah, Coach Reese, track coach, yada. He was like, Coach Reese. I said, man, I remember Coach Reese, man. I remember we won some championship. So this was before I graduated high school, but he was either my brother's age or a little older than my brother. So I don't know what year you would have coached him in middle school, but he was like, nah, I remember we won the championship, and Coach Reese was driving the bus throughout the neighborhood, honking the horn. We won the championship.
When we was at Nichols, we used to do a victory lap on the field, on the football field every time we won the game. So I would go to take the bus and go in circles around the field, blowing the horn. I got a really good story that's affiliated with that. There was a young man that went to Nichols, and he was a basketball star. I mean, he was like a elite basketball star at Nichols. And I just said, you're a really good basketball player, but if you play football or run track, you could be even better and have a better opportunity to get a scholarship. And he said, well, Coach, since you asked me to do it, I was a football coach at the time, I'll come out and play football. He came out to play the next year as a 10th grader and became a starter his junior year and senior year and was the best receiver at Biloxi High School. To my knowledge, he probably got, if it's at records, he's probably got, still in the record books right now. He played tight end. He played split end. His name was Lorenzo Diamond.
Was it Lorenzo?
Lorenzo Diamond or not, but Lorenzo Diamond
played in the league for a couple of years.
Everything at Biloxi High, ended up going to Auburn University and win a national championship at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Up from Auburn, going to the NFL, playing for the Miami Dolphins and other teams. I think he played for 7 or 8 years in the NFL, and then from there, turned around and started coaching himself, and also running an insurance business. I just talked to him about a couple of months before I retired. He was just saying how instrumental I was in his life. I'm very, very proud to have gotten that guy started in football. Perhaps if he didn't start in football, he may not have success, that he has accomplished. So you never know what changes might change a person's whole life. I'm really proud of that story.
Good deal. You're gonna have to make that connection between me and Lorenzo. I know I grew up. His brother Kendrell and my brother Kenneth went to school together. Now I went to school with his sisters Erica and
exactly.
I'm gonna have to make that connection, try to get him on.
If I'm not mistaken, he's out in California now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, he's out in California now.
Okay. So, Coach, how has each sport, football, basketball, track, from the beginning of your career to the end, how has each sport changed?
How has each sport changed? Well, not necessarily each sport, but I would just say the following changes have taken place, and I'm going to kind of more or less stick with track for the most part with this, is that as far as the changes are concerned, there's no more time catchers in track. Okay, there used to be catchers, and they would announce first, second, third, fourth place, or whatever, and you had to go with that because that's what the judges said.
Right.
Now we have a mile split,
Mm-hmm.
and mile split with Eagle Eye technology. And of course, everything's computerized now. They time everything and all that, and you can find out the results pretty much instantly, unless there's like a really, really close race where they got to really, run back and see what's going on. That's helped out tremendously. Now with mile split, you not only statewide, but it's also national.
Mm.
So scores that you get from, for instance, in Gulfport, those results are posted all over the nation if somebody wants to, chime in and see what happened in that particular meet. So that's one thing. Another thing is, as far as track is concerned, participants at one time could do 6 events.
Right.
They would do 3 individuals and 3 relays. It was more of a team concept at that time, in my opinion. Now they do only 4 events, and they can do any 4 they want. But the thing with that, Corey, if you have an elite athlete, and they're now in mile split and know the times that everybody else is doing, they may not want to do 4 events. They may want to do less than 4 events to be more competitive in 1 or 2 or what have you, which creates a dilemma. Now, I thought about this a whole lot. You can assign an individual, what they're going to do in the track meet, but that individual has to agree with that also.
Mm-hmm.
So the deal is you may have individual that's good in 4 events, but he may only want to do 2 events,
right,
to be as competitive as possible. And I've run into that situation. Not, I would say maybe about 8% of the time, 92% of my kids, whatever I told them to do, they did. But that is that, 8% that may say, well, I think I'll be more competitive if I just do these 2 events versus these 4 events. So now as a coach, you got to make a decision. Do you want to have those 20 guaranteed points from those 2 things they choose? Or do you want to, push the issue and maybe not have that kid at all? So now you gotta make the decision. I don't know about other track coaches. I know I've experienced that. And it's a dilemma. Now, to give you an example, we had a track meet at USM Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 60 teams there all over the nation at that USM Invitational. And it was invitational, so it wasn't like, a district meeting, nothing like that. And so I had a kid come to me. I had him in the 3200, I had him in the 1600, I had him in the 800. I had him in those 3 races. He came to me the day of the meeting when I've already put in everything and said that, Coach, can you take me out of the 32? I think I can break the school record in the 1600. And so I kind of thought about it, and I finally took him out of the 32. He ran the 1600 and did break the school record.
Nice.
But the thing is, from that point forward, instead of him running those 3 races I wanted to run, he eventually just started doing 2 races. So that's what I'm talking about as far as that mile split is concerned. Another thing that you probably are well aware of, junior colleges don't have track programs.
Right.
Mississippi. We only have 1 that's got a track program, and I think they're kind of sputtering. And so that affects elite athletes trying to get scholarships. Another one is spring football is the issue as far as that's concerned. If you don't have a good situation with your athletic director, good communication with them, good communication with the head football coach, those football players you recruited for track, and it's time for spring football, could be an issue. Now, personally myself, at Biloxi High, we didn't have an issue because I made sure I took care of that before the season even started. I did a lot of to play football, to go off spring training after my practice, but then that was limited 2 days out the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was concerned about that because they start practice like a week before district.
Right.
You don't want to before district, so that was the deal with that. And again, last but not least, one of the changes I see also is that some track athletes are seeking outside coaching, outside instruction, i.e. pole vault or jumps or hurdles or whatever. And of course, sometimes we bring outside coaches in that specialize in that stuff, which is not a big deal if it's on our campus. But the question that occurs is that if they get outside training off our campus somewhere else and they get injured, now you got an insurance situation. So that's what we are with that. But those are the main changes that I thought about.
Okay. One more thing you brought up, football and spring training, also that AAU basketball.
AAU basketball as well. You're right about that.
That's
but
what I've been dealing with.
That really has not been, to me, that really hasn't been an issue, AAU basketball, because they practice so late or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not a conflict with our track meets.
Right.
That's, as long as it's not a conflict with our track meets. I only had a couple of kids in that situation. I don't know if you know Buddy or not, but Buddy comes to mind when his dad is actually the AAU coach.
Right.
But he did his dad, which is the coach, never did let that conflict with track.
And that's Jones, right?
Buddy Jones. And by the way, he did get a track scholarship in Hawaii. So he's well off, running track.
Now my first year at Jim Hill,
right?
We got to South State, and he raced against my guy in the 400.
Yeah,
beat him.
Yes, exactly.
Beat him by this much, I was hurt.
Yeah,
I wanted to win. Just to, because it was my first time coaching against you, so I really wanted to win. But
I understand.
I was glad to see your guy do well as well.
Yeah, he had a tremendous career. Unfortunately, he had a foot injury his senior year, so he only ran in one track meet his senior year. But his stats were so good that he was able to get a scholarship anyway.
Good deal.
So that was that.
That's a great family as well.
Yes, yeah.
What is one thing you miss about coaching?
Man, let me just say this, and I thought about this a whole lot. And I unconsciously I thought about this just about my whole career as a high school football player, college football player, and then professional coach. One thing that I'm gonna miss is that you get ready to play that game. You still there? Okay, here we go. You get ready to play the game, and it's seconds for the game. I just want you to put you in this mindset, okay? And the game gets started. The stands are full. The game gets started. Everybody's hyped up. Bands playing, all that kind of stuff, Or you got a good crowd, supportive crowd of his track, And everything gets started. And the game is happening right now. And just put yourself in this mindset. When the game starts, Corian, black and white don't matter. Rich or poor don't matter. Republican and Democrat don't matter. In some cases, your religious beliefs are unified. And what I mean by that is, for 5 years at Biloxi High basketball, we had a kid on our team that was Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And we would pray before every game in the locker room. And our team was real big on going to church and praying and all that good stuff. He, knowing he was a Muslim, would join into our team prayer and say the Lord's Prayer with our team for every game. We had 30 games regular season. We had 15 games in the summertime. So he did a lot of Lord's Prayer praying. Now, I know for sure, as a Muslim at home, they ain't say no Lord's Prayer.
Right.
I have so much respect for that young man to say, I'm part of the team. I need to join in the team activities. And prayer was part of those team activities. That young man was named Musa Hassan. I got a lot of love for Musa Hassan, a lot of respect for him. Also, everybody, in the stands, everybody cheered when you did well, maybe cried when you failed in the game. Mm-hmm. Now, it's too bad, Corey. Just kind of think about this. In that game mindset, it's just too bad. And for all of you listening out there, okay, it's too bad that all that changes when the game's over.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hear me on that? It's too bad that all that changes when the game over, okay? And everybody goes back to the status quo. It's just too bad. And last but not least, I especially want to thank those players and coaches that put the team first and themselves second. and also those parents that supported us positively, win, lose, or draw. Because all parents don't do that. So that's my feeling on that. That's what I miss.
Okay. All right. How do you keep that competitive spirit alive?
Well, most people would say that I go golfing, I get in golf tournaments, fishing tournaments, and all that. Corey, that ain't me. I don't golf. I do fish, but I fish bank. I don't have no boat. I fish out the bank and get what I can get. I do pretty well, but that's not a real big hobby of mine. But I do have some hobbies. One of the hobbies that I have is customizing and modifying cars. I got a Dodge Challenger. I don't know if you remember that car, but yeah. I modify it and keep it pretty nice. I just bought a classic truck. I've been trying to get for 20 years. I got a 1963 Chevrolet Big One, the C10. I'm getting ready to get it. I'm working on it to get it ready for Cruising the Coast. For those of y'all that don't know, Cruising the Coast is the #1 car and truck show in the entire nation, right there in Biloxi Gulfport on the coast. And I'm getting my truck ready for that. I love landscaping. I like to keep my home, well represented in a landscape situation. I plan to support the schools that did so much for me: Moss Point High School, the Tigers, and also the Alcorn State University Braves. And last but not least, I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Anytime the Steelers are playing, I'm locked in, willing, and ready to go. Go Steelers, go Steeler Nation. All right, that's the deal with that.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yes, sir.
You got anything else?
All I got, the only thing else I got, Corey, is this. It's been a really, really good whirlwind. I had a lot of mentors and put me in the right direction, and I hope I've helped people along the way. I would just say for those people I've helped, for them to keep on continue to help the next person, and just try to keep making this world a better place for everybody, not just a few, but everybody. And that person that's on that last train roster or whatever might be the person that puts you over the hump. So you make sure you take care of them too, okay? My first championship was won by a third-string point guard. I never will forget. I put my first-string point guard fouled out, my second-string point guard fouled out, and I put the third-string point guard in. He hit the winning basket for my first district championship in 9th grade basketball. So since that time, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to coach the third string and care about them just as much as the first and second string.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you being on here. We're short on time, but definitely got to get you back on here because there's a couple more topics I want to get you on and have your.
Well, I hope I didn't get too long-winded, Corey.
No, you did good. Did good.
Okay, very good.
I know you're not big on most social medias, but if you're looking for Coach Reese and how to find him, you can definitely find him on LinkedIn, Michael Reese on LinkedIn.
Okay. And, yeah, no doubt.
You got anything else you want to add to that, Coach?
I would just say be good to others, man, and make sure you vote. Your vote is your vote counts. Don't sit home when it's time to vote. We need to make a change. Let's make sure that you vote and vote your conscience. Don't vote just because a check's coming in your pocket, but vote because of what you think is right. I'll leave it at that.
All right. And this has been another episode of For the Health of It. I'm your host, Corian K. Paget. Thank you for tuning in.